Welcome to the Take It Home podcast. The podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at DocSimmons17. I've got the usual crew of good-looking guys. I'll give a hot tag to my partner. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks. Find me on all social media at Z Hendricks Brand. Look us up on Country Air Official for Facebook and Instagram, and Country Air Brand on Twitter for Country Air. And I'll pass it off to the Senior Official.
What's up, guys? Referee Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV, # for the Ref Brand, and Waffles. Take It Home podcast.
Waffles. How was the breakfast this week, fellas? I kept it simple with my usual cheesy grits, eggs, and sausage. I actually got some pancake batter in the fridge. I think I'm gonna have right after this podcast.
Nice. Jack had a football game Saturday morning. Val made him some eggs and toast, and he made sure to have her make me some. So, having my back.
Yep, it's like doing it for the boys.
I did some extensive research on the subtle differences and what makes it, pop between Waffle Crisp and Eggo waffle cereal. Waffle Crisp has always been primo. Always been 10 out of 10. Trying out the Eggo cereal, I would give it an 8 out of 10 right away. And then going back to a modern day Waffle Crisp, I don't know if they changed it, but it's still up there. I'd say 9 out of 10. So Waffle Crisp still has the edge on Eggo waffle cereal. So as far as it goes, that milk cereal combo, one of my faves of all time.
Hell yeah. Good to hear. And you know what else I hope is one of your faves of all time, Perch? That banger of the week.
Banger of the week. Yeah, hands down, one of my favorites of all time. This one, just a smooth vibe. You can picture the night sky going down and pitch black neon lights cruising down the road to this one. You Belong to the City by Glenn Frey from the Eagles. Damn good song. Just the way the beat comes in and the way it goes out, and all in between. They give you your money's worth on this song. And, and as good as a vibe gets for a song.
Definitely. Good pick. Good fucking pick.
It's like a club banger, I imagine, back in the day.
Probably.
I'm sure the remix is done and some all night dancing to that tune. It's one of my faves from back in the day, an old gem, and gave it a rock, and it still bangs.
Awesome. All right. By the time this podcast comes out, it would have been old news, but I'm sure we're going to get into it at this point. Why don't we talk about what we watched last week? And I'll start. Gotta talk about that AEW's Dynamite. Gotta talk about that Moxley CM Punk. And like that match made me realize how I don't have nostalgia for Punk like a lot of other people do. So I was 100% behind Moxley. And I was losing my shit. Like when he hit that first Death Rider, I was hyped. So yeah, great. Obviously, we got a whole show that was also awesome. Everything leading up to the pay-per-view. I'm super psyched for the Will Hobbs, Ricky Starks coming out. Will Hobbs hitting the pose in his match as he's squashing people and taken from Ricky Starks' moveset. I've really enjoyed. Kenny is back. Omega's back. That's great. Right now it feels like AEW is kind of firing on all cylinders heading into this pay-per-view. I'm loving everything between Private Party and Swerve and Lee. Just really, really enjoying it all. Besides AEW, I've gone back and actually watched a lot of our tag matches to watch Zach. Um, just been wanting to study him on the apron, um, and just have a better understanding of what he's doing, so I can sell appropriately.
I apologize for having to watch me.
It's fine. Like I said, I think you're really good on the apron. Just looking for wherever we can be better. Maybe if I understand what you're doing on the apron, I can help feed into that. So that's actually mostly what I've been watching is going back watching some of our matches, watching a lot of Zach on the apron, watching that long hair blow in the wind.
I apologize again, bro. I'm rewatching Raw right now.
Yes.
And I didn't really watch the women's tag match, but definitely like I was like I started watching. I'm like, oh, this is definitely like a Doc Simmons, Io Sky, and Asuka in the ring together. I was like, this is definitely like a Doc match right here.
Yep.
But the finish was beautiful. Let me tell you this finish, and let me just like the finish was Dakota Kai goes to throw a boot. Asuka moved out of the way. Io blind tag. Asuka grabs Dakota Kai, has her tap out, celebrates because she thought she tapped her out, just for the ref to say not the legal person and get rolled up by Io.
Beautiful.
Bro, so beautiful.
Tag team wrestling. It's an art when done right.
Oh yeah. And then of course KO back with the old KO gear.
Yep.
Edge out here doing Canadian destroyers, and the biggest surprise. I mean, Facebook always ruins like when the guys are coming to new promotions or coming back. Like I seen some rumors from guys possibly coming back to WWE today, but just like when Aleister Black came to AEW, Johnny Gargano coming back to WWE, huge pop.
Yeah.
And like people are talking about how they wasted it and they should have done it in Cleveland. No, I agree. I like they're doing it in Canada. It kind of for those who are watching, because you knew a lot of people are going to watch for Edge. Those who aren't familiar with NXT, if they watch that, they're going to realize like, oh, this guy's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think they've actually put him in a pretty good position to succeed in Ciampa as well.
Oh yeah. And then like I even like the whole teasing of the high five with the wave. The wave.
Yep. I had, because that was the thing when Theory first came out, I had totally forgot they were a thing. So that did pop me.
I was seeing this is a hypothetical fun storyline, but you know how like everyone on the roster is pretty much against Theory cashing in. Like how everyone like no babies or heels, no one's like cool Theory coming out talking about he's gonna be the next champion. Everyone like there's like all the fun speculations like what if like the wave plus Dexter Lumis helps bring Theory to the top.
It would have been cool if Johnny hadn't super kicked him.
Yeah.
That would have been great. Did you watch anything else, brother?
I definitely did watch the Moxley. I watched the Moxley and CM Punk match. I need to watch that 6-man tag everyone's talking about. I just don't have cable and really. I mean, I probably could find it on YouTube, but I know AEW put up the Moxley CM Punk match, and I do have a lot of love for Punk. Like Punk was the main reason, like main person why I got into watching Ring of Honor. But I love that finish. Like I heard a lot of people crapping on that match, and I was just like, everyone's like, "Oh, I didn't get my money's worth." Like, I'm sorry that you didn't get your free TV's money worth. Like, it was.
I
on
was thoroughly entertained. I would have been fine had that been on the pay-per-view, and that would have been the finish. I was thoroughly entertained and satisfied.
I've been entertained too, just because of the shock factor. But I feel like if it was on a pay-per-view, there would be a lot more whining and complaining. Wrestling fans I love them, but they're a little spoiled.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But I love the unpredictability of it. Just 3 minutes and like 13 seconds, I believe, how long it took for like bell to bell.
Yep, it wasn't very long. The YouTube video is like eight minutes.
Yeah, like when I saw 8 minutes, but they have the entrances and everything.
Yeah.
The first thing I did, like, kind of like, I was like a couple of people when I saw him throw the kick. I was like, oh, he's still on the other, like, the other foot's hurt. Like, what? And then listening to like I listened to Busted Open, and Bully Ray was talking about how he's like, you guys all say like he was grabbing the wrong foot, but think about it. He threw a roundhouse and he applied all that pressure on the
Sure,
other
yeah.
foot. And I was like,
It
oh,
make for people who know how a roundhouse is actually thrown, he grabbed the right leg. Like that is the leg you're more likely to mess up if you're playing foot.
I think everyone's just so conditioned when wherever gets hit is what they're like want. They
Yeah, that
assume it.
part's hurt, but no, it's actually the foot. I have had that happen to me in a match, except I won, punk. But
Play on
I
words.
have had that happen. Perch.
Yeah, kicking off the week, that Edge against Damian Priest match was awesome. That
Yes,
main
it
event of
was.
Raw in Toronto. Talk about that crowd. They were on fire. And to see Edge all the way from that entrance to the exit and all in between. Yeah, that was one of those matches that caught me and got to watch it as it was happening. Loved it. Stood out for sure. Cool to see Edge going back and helping the up and comers. Get to that next level in a match like that for Priest on a main event of Raw. With a crowd giving you that much energy. Um, awesome to watch. Um, One of the most anticipated uh, dynamites. I was so excited, so jacked up to watch Moxley against CM Punk, and am all ready by the TV, and CM Punk's entrance comes out, and Moxley comes out. It was like a fever pitch, an awesome, incredible atmosphere, like watching good old Brock Lesnar in the UFC cage coming out against Mark Hunt a few years ago, or watching the Conor McGregor against Floyd Mayweather. Uh, I like big matchups where everything is just so intriguing from the start, entrances all the way to the end. Um, Moxley coming out the week before and answering CM Punk and all the trash he was talking because he was sure talking a lot of trash. So CM Punk wrote the check, and then Moxley has just been dozing through everybody. Didn't know how this was gonna end up. Had a good tie up and back each other up to the corners. You can feel that crowd going nuts. And all of a sudden, CM Punk pulls up lame, and Paulie T goes over to him. And before he knew it, Moxley took his head off of that clothesline,
Yep.
hits him with that Death Rider, starts gnawing at that foot, starts ripping at it. Exactly what he said he was going to do. Everything Moxley said he was going to do going into that match, he did. And he ripped that foot and inflicted pain, hit him with another Death Rider after raining down forearms and elbows. Just you saw a wounded CM Punk, and he took him out back and took him out.
Yep. Didn't
Call yourself
hesitate.
the best in the world. Boom. Just gone. That match ended, and it was like seeing Mike Tyson knock someone out early. Blood in the water, and Moxley took it, and the momentum was still going from the entrances, the appeal. It was one of the coolest matches I've seen in a long time. Just everything about it, incredible. And Moxley walks out the champ, like wearing the fan hat. I was going nuts. Um, that's our guy. It's our fighter. Sure, it's the best in the world, but the trash he was talking a few weeks before was just he stepped over the line, and a guy like Mox is the man who is here to run you off the tracks right now. Not to say you can't come back, but right here, right now, boom, Mox is the champ. So really enjoyed it. Great time, great spectacle. That was just a good spectacle match. And yeah, want to see where they come from here. I don't see CM Punk coming back anytime soon. To my eyes, he got hurt in that match, and Moxley took him out. People talking about a rematch, I don't see it coming at all. Mox is the champ. CM Punk is out. But intrigued to see what happens next, and where Mox goes as the champ. So fun going into it and great coming out of it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Wrestling is in a good place right now. I saw a meme earlier where it was Triple H's reaction to just making logical booking decisions and him just being praised for it. But that's all we want. We want logical reasons for people to fight, build it big, and deliver. Give us a spectacle. And it's great. And that match was perfect for it.
And Moxley's promo afterwards,
yeah, it was
definitely
straight
hit.
fire.
That match, it left us like, they need 3 minutes. So now what are they gonna do? And they kind of went to a few different interviews, and before you know it, there was Mox, and the way he reacted to that match was straight fire.
Yep. The excitement I expected.
Great promo.
Awesome. All right. Okay, why don't we move on to the next segment and talk about all the wrestles we did this past weekend. You know what? We'll kick it back to you, Perch.
Yeah, this weekend was a good time. We hopped on the Summer Sizzler tour, BCW Summer Sizzler 2022, and hit up Friday night at the Wrestling Taco for some pro wrestling action right down in West Allis, Wisconsin. Phenomenal to be back there. Outdoor show right in the parking lot. I couldn't wait to make a show at the Wrestling Taco. Tons of fans from throughout the years in the West Allis area and Milwaukee area. Just awesome to see. A lot of familiar faces. Setting up the ring early, getting in, rolling around, spending some time with some of the newer students, just talking shop on a beautiful afternoon in West Allis. It was awesome. A lot of the roots from our pro wrestling, journey is born out of West Allis and the Knights of Columbus and the many venues that have been there. So great to experience. Got to ring announce for the show. Always love doing anything to help the show. If there's a job that has to be done, I want to learn and give it my all to be that guy to make that job happen. So in this case, we needed the ring announcer, and I was glad to do the job. Gave it everything I had. The voice is definitely recovering. There was like a moment or two where that PA system was just blasting, and I'm really like being heard by houses down the block right now.
Yeah, probably.
there's residential homes that are hearing me just yell for Dysfunction or Country Air or Chucky Bates. It was just, I'm sure the whole Tri-City knows who Meng is. But yeah, great time, fun show. I love that setup at the Wrestling Taco. I want to try and make it every time I can. And then the next day, headed down to Crown Point, Indiana for a little Black Label Pro Wrestling. It was a big Royal Rumble show, so a lot of people were on hand. Also on hand for the event was Big Damo, the Progress World Champion. He took on Kevin Koo that night. Just a solid match to open up the pay-per-view. That was my first match of the night. So an absolute honor to hold the Progress World Championship and to hold it above the head and represent being the official for that contest. Very, very, big honor. And a good match, hard hitting as you would expect. Big Damo came out the champion, and I believe he went to the UK the next day and defended the title there as well. So it was cool to hop on his tour for a stop near Chicago. Next match was a very cool one. Another absolute honor. This one kind of represents, in my mind, independent professional wrestling and how the territories and the scene is thriving with these two who have represented different states, different styles, different really everything, different characters in Trish Adora against Warhorse. Awesome match.
I can imagine.
One I
That
was
sounds
really
good.
looking forward to. Yeah, just a classic independent wrestling. Um, IWTV. I picture these guys. They've represented so many different companies, different titles, and anytime to see Trisha Dora work, she's one of my favorites. Just hard hitting, very technical as well. She's always got something outside the box, and I love the way she represents. Very cool. And Warhorse is just a staple. Solid, hard hitting. One of my first ever matches at Black Label Pro was Warhorse against big Rip City and the Rip City Shooters. And just a hard hitting match. Warhorse is someone who's got more fight in him than anyone. So that was a great match. Trish Adora took him to the limit and ended up picking up the victory in there. It was pretty damn cool. And the next match was the main event of the night. Crazy action, wild, 30 people. Billy Starks ended up winning. One of my favorite parts throughout, there was a tag team match, Bang Bros, and Trevor Outlaw was their manager. And at one point, Trevor was yelling at a little kid, and the kid got upset and kind of cried and went off, and the guardian went with him. And I was watching the match from the back, from kind of the hard cam position, and oh man! So I went up and grabbed, by concessions. Hey, can I get a water bottle? Yeah, sure, thank you. And I went out and flagged the guys down, and it turns out it was an uncle who had brought his nephew to the show, and they had a great time. It was the kid's first time ever at a wrestling show, and the uncle is a regular, and he loves the shows. He totally gets what pro wrestling is, and 9, 10, maybe a little younger. And gave him a water bottle. It just kind of calmed it down a little bit, and asked how how good of a time they were having, and it got brought up that he was a big Warhorse fan. So I was like, hey, hold tight, and was able to run in and grab Warhorse, and we went out to the car, and and getting the kid an autograph and a picture, and kind of made the kid's day. Maybe saved pro wrestling for one kid moving forward.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those cool times. It's those moments that happen. You chalk it up to pro wrestling. It's happening in a city somewhere for some kid at any given moment. And one of those kind of heartfelt moments that took place at that time. So yeah, we're all in it together. We're all fans. We all get it. There's support. There's friends. There's entertainment. There's everything you need at a wrestling show. But most importantly, we got each other's backs. From the workers to the wrestlers, to the referees, to the ladies selling cookies. We all are in it together, and we want everyone to have a good time. So yeah, that was a fun time this weekend.
Hell yeah.
And shout out to Warhorse for totally getting it and knowing it, and helping make that kid's day.
Nice. Zach,
What up?
we were also at the wrestling taco on Friday. I don't think we saved wrestling for any kid's life, but we had a match.
Yes, sir. We we ain't done what we're not done with the Caribbeans, and we had the opportunity to get a shot at the Brew City Wrestling Tag Team Championships. We said last year when we what was it, February, the Caribbeans got in our business, we told them like we're going to become the tag champs, and they currently have the belts. We came at them, almost had a win, except I think both of our boys got hit.
Yeah, it wasn't good for the old door knockers.
Not at all. We had them set up for Air Buddies. Manny shoved me into Doc. Doc's boys met the top of my head. My boys met the top of Manny's fist. And unfortunately, we took an L.
Yeah. It's great to have the fan support out there. Like Perch said, the Wrestling Taco has been fun. West Allis definitely shows out, and parking lot's been packed. I feel at least for every show that I've been at. I know I haven't been at all the shows, but I think it's been a great success. I think the fans love us, and hope we can do this again next year. And you know what? Hopefully one day they level out that parking lot. I'd really appreciate that. Just a small thing. But no, it was great time. And then Saturday, we had a rare appearance as singles competitors.
Same show, singles wrestlers.
Yep. I started off the night in a 4-way for the new Raging Pro Wrestling Cruiserweight title. It was a 4-way with TW3, Preston Palmer, and Johnny CK. Me and T-Dub. I've worked T-Dub before. I've worked T-Dub a lot. He's always gotten the upper hand. Preston Palmer, Johnny CK, I've seen them around. We've shared a few locker rooms together. I know they're dojo ACW guys. So that's Colucci, Swoggle, Shane Hills. So I know they are well trained. I think it was a fun match. I came out, it was my debut there. I had to show them a little bit of everything. I had to show them the drop kick, had to show them the strength, had to show them the speed, had to show them the leaping ability. Unfortunately, it was an elimination match. And though I ended up as the last two, as soon as I made the cover on Preston Palmer and got the 3, T-Dub came off the top with a Meteora to pin me and become the new RPW champion. Satisfied with the match, satisfied with my showing. I think the fans enjoyed it. I think the fans liked me. But unfortunately, came away with that L. How was your match, Zach?
Yeah, later in the night, semi-main, me versus Ian Gager. He's one of the Green Bay guys, I believe, trained by Shane Hills. Suplex on the outside and a missed crossbody. Took an L. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. I enjoyed your match as well, but yep, unfortunately, I guess we're just, it was a rough weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
Sunday didn't get much better.
No flying. Oh yeah, Sunday went down to 3 Rings of Doom. Had a shot at the PWK Tag Team Championships against the Asylum. Again, miscommunication. Doc hit me with a Spanish fly.
Yep.
And then after that, what was it? I don't know what their finisher. I don't know what they call it, but I know they launched Doc into a knee. But I blame that ref. That ref threw off our mojo.
Yep. Ref threw off our mojo. Zach clearly broke up a 3 count. Ref tried to say the match was over. The fans knew it wasn't over. And one thing leads to another, and I'm flying through the air into a knee.
That's all I'm saying. Like, we have a ref. Perch, if I hit the guy off if a man's covering another man and their partner is able to kick him way before the 3 count, that's a breakup, right?
Referee's discretion. It comes down to the company. Whoever the official is.
Always out here protecting the zebras.
We're talking different states, different sanctions. So I can't speak. I know West Allis rules. And I can speak to Takata and the Wisconsin sanction. I'm also sanctioned and licensed in Missouri. Can speak on that too, but unfortunately, I don't have much in the way of help here.
Bourbon, Indiana, where restaurants close at 2 p.m. on a Sunday.
Bro, yeah. But then after we did get to watch the main event where BD Smooth took on Merle Ramsey. Want to bring this up. These guys have been going at it for the last about 7 or 8 months, I believe.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been it's been a while.
They went at it in that Rumble the day before too. So it was still heated going into it. They left brawling, so they probably kept brawling the entire time leading into it.
Yeah, stipulation was
sure BD viciously gave people drop toe holds.
Oh yeah, but stipulation was if Merle Ramsey won, BD Smooth out of professional wrestling, but BD won. He won some nachos. He won a meatball sub. He won his first ever payday in wrestling, and he also becomes the CEO and owner of Rent-A-Ring.
Though you might not have noticed, the name has changed.
What's the name now?
1 second. In his first act of CEO, he has changed the company name. It is now Smooth Rents. Rents spelled RINTS.
I mean, I like it. Smooth Rents.
Yes, so that is a new name. It is no longer Rent Wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to Merle. He did everything he can to keep his business. He hired Rush Jones. He had Mitch Taylor out there. But you know, sometimes when you have BD Smooth climbing from the top of the cage, when whatever goes up must come down, and he fell out to victory.
Yep. So unfortunately, congrats to BD. I am not.
No. Unfortunately, BD, we've always been good to you, BD.
But we'll have to see how this new CEO works this week, and we'll talk about that later.
Oh, I mean, I will give BD one shout out because me and Doc are very horrible wrestlers and forget our stuff at places. And BD Smooth contacted me, let me know he had our jackets.
Yes, so awesome. All right, then you know what? Good job, BD. Good job. Smooth Rents all the way.
Those jackets were those were some nice jackets. So I'm glad we didn't lose them.
Yeah, very bad wrestlers. I'm gonna crack open this beer, and then we should get on to the main topic of this week. I asked the fellas if you could take a match and replace somebody or both parties with different eras of that wrestler. Which match would it be? Which eras would you change? I'll go first. I'll go first because I want to do the match that inspired me to do this.
I feel like you're gonna steal my match.
I doubt it, but go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go first. You're right.
SummerSlam, I believe it is 2018. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe versus Braun Strowman for the WWE title. I saw this match a couple days ago and was amazed to think about where all these people are, and that's now, and that's what drove me to this question. So, obviously, we're going to change Roman Reigns to the tribal chief and acknowledge him. I think that one is a given. Roman Reigns is on fire still. Bloodline has just added Sami Zayn, and that is awesome. It's good to see stories getting completed. Roman Reigns is the best he's ever been right now, so I think it's just an easy pick to just take Roman in his prime. But also, this is before we have the legendary Cowboy Lesnar. So gotta throw Cowboy Lesnar in there. I think over the past 2 years or so, we've got to see Lesnar actually have a lot of fun in the WWE. And I'm a simple guy. I like to see people have fun. Anytime somebody's enjoying something, that's a good thing. And I feel like this is the most fun he's had in a long time. On a simpler change, I would get Samoa Joe back to early TNA Samoa Joe. Mostly because that is my favorite Samoa Joe. And number two, he was less injury prone back then. So I'm a huge Samoa Joe fan. You know, he's had his injury problems over the past year, so we haven't had to have that long sustained run. And I wish we could get that. And as far as Braun Strowman, wouldn't change him. Braun Strowman stays the same. Braun Strowman at that time is probably at the top of his game, so I don't see a reason to change him. But for me, like put those four, I think those are their four either most fun or just them in their prime. And I think that match would be freaking fire. Go ahead, Zach.
I'm gonna also have a Brock Lesnar match, but I'm gonna do the WrestleMania match of Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose.
Ooh.
I'm gonna switch obviously Brock Lesnar to Cowboy Brock Lesnar, but we're changing Dean Ambrose to John Moxley up to date John Moxley,
Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I just think with that, like just imagining like they went one time and a lot of people, it wasn't the match most people wanted, but like I just think now if they were to go at it, it'd be a whole different match. So yeah, that's the match I was going to go with.
Yeah.
And I legit thought after like you texted us this after the Punk match with Moxley, so I was like, oh, he definitely wants a Moxley match, and everyone would want to reset with Moxley as Moxley versus Lesnar because I think at the time Ambrose wasn't as big as like John Moxley is now, so like Brock.
This was like I feel this was like his first big singles run that Lesnar ended up shutting down.
Yeah. But I think like now with with what Lesnar sees Ambrose is and sees the fun, crazy stuff he's willing to do, like they would have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. As long as you keep Brock entertained, Brock is awesome. But Brock just when he's bored, he doesn't hide that he's bored. Perch.
Oh, man, this was a great question of the week. I always look forward to it. And right when he said this one, as I understood, clicked in my mind, and I was like, "Oh my god, yes!" A question I would have never. But as soon as I read it, it opened up an idea that I never would have put together. But I pictured back in 1991, red, white, and blue ropes with the blue, kind of light blue, guardrails and blue mat and those steel steps, just the iconic look, like classic 91. And, Hulk Hogan doing his thing out there. Picture like a Survivor Series. Hulk Hogan coming out in the red and yellow. And then American badass fucking biker Taker comes out, revving up that Harley Davidson and rides that into the arena. Yeah, I picture biker Taker coming out, big evil, riding that motorcycle around that ring back in like 91, in that era on a Coliseum home video. and straight up 2002 Undertaker comes out, maybe with that shorter hair and the bandana on and the glasses for sure, and the cut off shirt with the big evil right on top of it, and the long pants. Yeah, I would take that version of the Undertaker in that run, in that initial run of like the 90 into 91. He won the title against Hulk Hogan at the 91 Survivor Series. So, where Ric Flair slides a chair into the ring for a pile driver onto the chair. Maybe he'd be sliding in a lead pipe from the motorcycle that he would use, 18 years later to crack Ric Flair over the head with and bust him open at WrestleMania 18. But yeah, Biker Taker going up against those old 1990s, 91 era, and in particular, Big Evil going against Hulk Hogan at the 91 Survivor Series.
All right, because
for sure.
Is it? Oh no, maybe I'm thinking of. Was it Bret Hart versus Yokozuna at WrestleMania, or was it Undertaker versus Yokozuna at WrestleMania? But either way, I don't know what match Undertaker had. I feel like it was Yokozuna. I can't think of it right now. But that made me think, God, had we had Biker Taker at that Vegas freaking WrestleMania. Like I hope it was the Yokozuna match where Yokozuna wins and Hulk Hogan comes out after and it's like, I'll beat him. Because the whole thing would be completely different from Taker does have, it's like one of his simpler entrances for WrestleMania, but he does have a good, he comes out like on a chariot and he's got a crow on there.
It could have
always fitting. Always fitting.
Could have been WrestleMania if it was a loss, then Hogan, because Taker didn't lose till.
Oh, yep. So he didn't lose. So it must have been Survivor Series. So it must have been the Survivor Series.
Yeah, I think it was Bret Hart and Yokozuna where Bret Hart got cheated, and then.
Yep. Bret Hart and Yokozuna. Like, yep.
That was big hair Taker.
Yeah, that was big hair Taker. He wrestled freaking Hernandez, Hercules Hernandez, but that wasn't his gimmick at the time. Still, put Biker Taker in there.
Yep. Biker Taker, red, white,
Vegas WrestleMania, Hercules Hernandez, and you know what? Still have Biker Taker come out at the end of the Bret Hart match because I still want that interaction with Undertaker and Hulk Hogan, where the Hulk Hogan says, "No, I'll do it," because I still think that Taker of that era has some of the best facial reactions to people saying anything. So I just think having Taker in that, just like Biker Taker in that era where he can emote to some of the more ridiculous things that are just going on in the WWF would be awesome.
It was, the Biker Taker definitely came out of, being past that era. So it's like, it's such a clash of styles.
Yeah.
So like, it makes sense that it didn't happen and it wouldn't have happened. So it's like that question was like, oh man, that's awesome, because I'd take him right back 10 years before.
Yeah, ours definitely could have happened, but yeah, there's no way we get Biker Taker in 91 in the WWF. Just not, no. Because it'd still be a couple in 91, because it would still be a couple years till we even got Diesel, which would be the closest thing I feel to Biker Taker.
Back when Taker was hitting the choke slam with people off the ropes and doing a little bit of a swinging momentum choke slam.
I love that choke slam.
I bet he'd be riding that Harley in super fast. He'd be riding that Harley in super fast around that ring. Taking people's heads off.
Like, oh,
maybe a chopper at that time.
It'd be probably a different bike. No, good one. Yeah, Biker
with
Taker.
Paul Bear and a side cart. with Paul Bear sitting there with the urn and a couple of skulls and that little side cart.
Well, I feel we got that with Triple H eventually. But, Triple H and Stephanie, I guess we eventually got the skull bike. A good one. Anybody got any others they want to bring up? All right. Then why don't we wind it down and talk about what we got coming up this week? It's a long one, guys. It's a long one. Zach, we getting started on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday going out to AAW. They got hopefully we're gonna get on the Alive again. Do our thing. Maybe get our first one at AAW. It's been a struggle since we've been there, but AAW is known to have the best competition in the world. Definitely the best competition in the states. So some people take a little bit defeat when they are and whatever. I'm not gonna let that bother me. I just watch, study our films, and figure out what we could do that could hopefully get us on that winning track and get us on the goal that we've said since day one of being there. I mean, we're not doing what we said, but one day we will be the AAW tag champs, and I don't care how long it takes.
Hell yeah. So yep, we'll be at AEW Thursday. Friday, I will be at Black Wrestlers Matter, Chicago, the Blackout. Should be an awesome show. I mean, I think we're 3-0 and putting on some freaking banger shows. It'll be also at Logan Square Auditorium, which will be very convenient for me. I really appreciate that. We'll get to see the rematch between ACH or not ACH, JDX and frontman Ja. And there's gonna be a lot of new faces there. So, just giving more spotlight to more black wrestlers. Looking real forward to it. Do you have anything Friday, Zach?
I think Bruce City might have a show up in Sheboygan. It's never been confirmed yet, but I have that in my calendar. So if Bruce City does have a show Friday night, you should expect to see me out there wrestling a singles match. I would assume.
Hell yeah. And
Sa-
then Saturday.
we make our way to Sterling, Illinois. Zawa just had their draft. We were drafted to Sterling, and we find ourselves now in a unique triple threat tag match against those damn Coyotes. Representing them will be Connor Hopkins and Braden, and also no, not Braden. That's Damien. Right, Damien
Deshane.
Deshay, yeah. And then we take on the APA as well, and not the APA you're thinking of. We're taking on the Academy Protection Agency and Tyler Pregel and Braxton. The rules of that match are you are not allowed to tag out to your partner.
Yep. To be very interesting. We are three very good tag teams who are very used to working with each other. So I think it'll be fun to see how we make this work.
Yes, sir. And then what we got Sunday?
Possibly Portage. So possibly we will be with Bruce City Wrestling on Sunday up in Portage. Portage County Fair, my favorite fair show on the Summer Sizzler tour. But it will be a long weekend, so we'll see how we can make this work. But
I do enjoy Portage as well, except the entranceway. The entranceway going uphill is such a
yeah, it can be a bit of a pain. Getting into it, but I love the Portage Fair. I love all the fans there. They always show us most love. I always get to do fun and new things there. So
I mean, the Portage Fair has the most. I mean, historically, I think of all the fair shows, Portage has the biggest surprises. I've seen. I think every time I've been there, I've seen a world title change, a heritage title change. I've seen a tag title change.
yep. Portage Fair is a big one. So if you got a chance to get up there, I would definitely recommend it. Then Perch, what do you have this week?
And we're kicking things off this Thursday night. Like you guys said, AAW Pro in Chicago. That'll be a fun time Thursday night. And then Friday, right off to Black Label Pro in GCW. That show is going to be starting around 11. That'll be a good time as well. Saturday, we'll have some GCW settlement series in the afternoon, followed by the War Games 2 in the evening. Going to be a great day of pro wrestling, great day of action. Yeah, so AAW, Black Label Pro, Game Changer Wrestling, at Fight TV, and High Spots Network for AAW to watch all the action. And then Sunday, Effie's Big Game Brunch. So a lot of fun GCW action in town in Summit, Illinois. And going to be a lot of good learning and experience and seeing a lot of people and a lot of good taking notes and reffing and a little bit of everything. Can't wait. Really looking forward to a fun wrestling weekend and the Second City Summit. Shout out to Freelance Wrestling show on Thursday night as well at the Emporium right at Logan Square. So there'll be two awesome wrestling shows going on. If I could possibly ref them both, I would be representing them both. But I'll be at AAW representing Logan Square Auditorium and an awesome night of action. So Chicago will be bumping this weekend.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Chicago's the place to be. And with that, Zach, any final thoughts or questions?
You can participate in it or not. Besides MJF, who would you like to see wrestle John Moxley at the All Out pay-per-view?
I got to go with after the week he just had, Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
Will
that was-
Ospreay's hit another gear. I think that would be a dope one.
that's actually
Mhm.
my. Oh, I'm hope. I don't want to. I mean, that means Will Ospreay and Aussie Open would have to lose against the Elite Wednesday. But if that's the case, I would like to see Ospreay versus Moxley. And if Ospreay and them advance in the tournament, I would like to see Omega come back out and see if Omega versus Moxley now we'll see where Moxley is now compared to he was the first time he wrestled them.
Yeah. Good one. Perch, any opinions?
Yeah, I'm with you with especially last night or last episode. I want to see Osprey against Moxley. Would love to see that matchup. Osprey seems to have an answer for everything. But I don't know if he would
we
have an
did
answer.
not talk about that 6-man from last week. Aussie Open Ospreay versus
Some of the best
Death
counters I've ever seen. Some of the best, double out smarting your opponent I've ever seen. I mean, Death Triangle is the best. One of my favorites in AEW. Just my favorite trios in that company, and they put on that match. Just phenomenal.
Yep. Hell yeah. And I guess while I got you, any final thoughts or questions, Perch?
Yeah, just keep on celebrating pro wrestling. Love and living in the Muda era, in the Triple H era of WWE. Yeah, just great all the way around.
Yep. Wrestling's on a
Celebrate
high.
pro wrestling.
Hell yeah. And for me, as usual, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all the social medias. Tell all the promotions to book us. We do really cool things when we're in a ring. This has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. 1.